don't know. I'd say I'm reasonable.
Okay, that's completely unreasonable.
I'm reasonable.
You have no idea just how reasonable I am.
Reasonable synonyms are sensible, rational, practical, fair, appropriate.
Fitting, suitable, logical.
All things I would definitely say describe me.
Do they describe you?
Welcome to I'm Reasonable with Zane Jones.
I'm reasonable.
What up? Hey, hello, everybody. Hey, happy Sunday. Hello, 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 hello. Wow. Oh, okay. I guess I'm late, so that's why it's been a lot of shit. Shaneria K, what's going on? How you doing? JD, how you doing? Our moderator Tay is in the building. Our moderator Still I Rise is in the building. Thank you so much for being here. Seabreeze 40, how are you? Okay, you cooking. Already opinions. Shannon Sharpe is guilty of being stupid. But if Gabby was afraid, why not answer the phone? Ooh, okay, we'll get into it. Let me write that down. Why not answer the phone, right? Well, listen, she was saying $25 per butt cheek, so she gonna answer the phone. If you pay like you went, it's Sunday. I went on an 8-mile run. From my house to Culver City stairs, if you're familiar with LA at all. And then I went all the way up the stairs. I think it's like 230 stairs. I went up the stairs and then I came down the stairs and then I ran back. It was a total of like 8 miles. So I haven't done this in years. Like I don't be doing long runs like that no more. I be doing like 4 miles, maybe 5 miles. That's it. But then stairs included. So I'm jazzed up. I got my coffee. I got my water. I just had scrambled eggs with avocado. I'm jazzed up. I'm energized. We're going to get into Shannon Sharpe, but we got a couple of things to get in first. Y'all see, I'm still trying to figure out this flip over. I ain't figured it out. All things considered, I find it hard to believe that this young lady is okay with putting herself out there for a civil lawsuit, but was not scared enough to go to the police. We're going to get into that. Let me write that down. Why not, right? Why not go to the police? Brianna Williams, hello. How you doing? Tyler Moore, hello. Our moderator Tay said, I think 19 is far too young. There's so much to talk about. Let's see, who else do I have to say? Miss Josie, how you doing? Nicole Denise Muhammad. Does Zainab change the time? She made it for today at 10:32 a.m. I made it for today at 10:32 a.m. You mean at 10:32 a.m. I put up I scheduled the live. Thank you, Seabreeze 40. She's only 15 minutes late. She's probably running to her apartment. First of all, Seabreeze 40, it's a house. That's first of all. Okay. Sadako, what's going on? Ben Childs, how you doing? Cadence Kyle, hey. Manjama, hello, thank you so much. Cameron O, happy Sunday, chat. Extravagant, hello. I know 8 miles, right? Okay. Liu Kang, yep, I did it. You better run, Slim Shady. Why? Sharice Gaynor, hello. Reality TV, how you doing? That sounds like a name Ray J would come up with. How are my reasons doing? There you go. How are my reasons doing? Thank you guys so much for waiting. Looking like an easy breezy cover girl. I appreciate that. That's always been one of my dreams, to be a cover girl. Like I'll be talking to like my management about this. Like they be like, well, like what's some of your like what's things that's like on your bucket list? Like at the end of your career, you want to say that you did. And I'm like, oh my God, like because y'all know I'm not really into like makeup and stuff like that, right? Like I mean, I like for people to glam me up when it's an event, but y'all see it ain't no makeup on this face. You know what I'm saying? Like I just can't do it. It looks so nice, but I just you know what it is? It's like cooking for me. Ooh, do I love to eat? But am I going to learn? Probably not. Probably not. I can do the basics. And when it needs to be more than that, then we'll bring in a professional. We'll bring in a professional. But let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to always put on a little bit of mascara. Okay? I'm going to always put on a little bit of mascara. Anywho, so thank you so much. And they was like, okay, so is it just CoverGirl or would you be willing to do like Maybelline? You know what I'm saying? Or like, y'all know I just did like a Milani shoot, right? I was like, no, I'm not closed off to any of it. But the dream, the bucket list dream is to be like easy breezy, beautiful CoverGirl, right? Let's get into it. First, before we get into Shannon Sharpe, we got a few things to talk about. First of all, rest in peace, Pope Francis. Let me just tell y'all what I didn't know, because I don't really be dibbling and dabbling in the Catholicism, right? I didn't know his name wasn't Francis. I said it to somebody. I said like it was breaking news. I said, and you know, his name ain't even really Francis. I wonder why he chose Francis. Like, is it like the hurricane? You know, like how they get to choose the names of the hurricanes? Is it like that, you know? And the person I was talking to was like, I think every pope's name is Francis. I said, what? I didn't know. I did not know. To any of my Catholic viewers, to any of my viewers who may not identify as Catholic anymore, but have an immense level of respect or, you know, I don't know, investment in like the Catholic doctrine, the Catholic Church, the Catholic representation. You know, like not my condolences, because that doesn't seem right, but I'm sorry for your loss. I guess my condolences is right. Okay, so Pope Francis, he had a stroke, and then he was in a coma. And while he was in a coma, his heart collapsed. If you did not know, I feel like this is old news, but just in case it's somebody out there like me that's like, what? Now we waiting on some black smoke and some white smoke, and they're gonna have. It's gonna be like Groundhog Day. We waiting to see what's the groundhog's name? Poxatawny Phil, or what's his name? He got to come out the ground and let us know if it's 6 more weeks of winter. That's what we waiting on. We waiting on a Pope reveal right now. That's what it is. Once they get him into the ground, then the clergies, they all come together in secret. Thank you so much, Simply Shawnee. Thank you so much. They come together in secret. And then they send some black smoke and some white smoke. And when you see this is all new to me. This is all new information. I was just happy that they ain't have him, you know, they ain't take him too many places. I'm going to be very honest with y'all. That threw me last year. When Jimmy Carter, when they had him, when it was still like 17 days and they ain't put that man in the ground yet, I said, so I'm happy that they doing the Pope better. You know what I'm saying? But if they was going to take the Pope on tour, you know, the Pope got to go everywhere. The Pope got to go on a 30-city tour. The Pope got to go to Mexico. He got to go to Dominican Republic. He got to go to Brazil, Boston, Staten Island. Anywhere where they speak Spanish or got police officers, that's where the Pope got to go. He got to go to Florida. They could save the Vatican City for last, right? Because that's where he got to stay, right? So they could save that for last. But he got to go to Belgium, Bolivia, Chile, Cuba, Ecuador. Everywhere they got Spanish, like anywhere they speak Spanish, Portuguese, like any of that, that's where the Pope got to go. I didn't realize that there was a large Catholic population in the Philippines. It makes sense because them is like the Spanish Asians, right? Respectfully. So apparently he got to go there too. He got to go to Haiti. He got to go to France. He got to go to Paraguay. How do you say that country? Paraguay. You know where I didn't know they had a large community of Catholics? The Republic of Congo. Did y'all know that? I did not. I did not know that, but that's where they got to go. Anyway, the reason why I'm kind of bringing up this, it's not old news because I do really want to be respectful. It's like, this is a big deal. The Pope died. And then this seemed to be like a non-traditional Pope, right? This Pope Francis, it's like a non-traditional Pope. You get what I'm saying? Like he was a bit more liberal than like the structure has been. He was way less flashy. I think he paid for his own funeral. Before he died, I think he paid, or at least he paid for like the box or something. He was like, no, y'all trying to put me in that gold casket. I'm going to just get this wooden box over here. Don't worry, I got it. I'm going to put it on my Amex. Don't worry. You know, when somebody pay for their own stuff right before you die, you like, but do it matter? Because who going to pay the bill? Did you pay cash, Pope Francis? Did you pay cash? The reason why I'm bringing up the funeral is because our president, and I know I said Donald Trump wasn't, but here's the thing. I don't got to fly for like, oh, dang, no, I go to Arlington next week. I do have to fly, but I ain't got to leave the country for a while. So, you know, if y'all don't hear from me for more than about 4 days, just know they got me in a Venezuelan detention center. It's not funny, but just know I am not at the spa. I am not taking some sick days. If y'all don't hear from me on any of my social media platforms for like 4 days and I don't give y'all no notice, just know they got me at the Venezuelan detention center. Talking about I wasn't supposed to be in this country. They done took away my United States of America passport. Just know that. But also know I'm going to be telling a lot of jokes in that detention. I'm going to bring joy to all the people there, hopefully. And I'm probably going to come out of there 117 pounds. So these are all things that we should know. Okay, let's get into Trump. This ain't even really about Trump. Y'all know I got my theories, right? Y'all know I be loving to say that J.D. Vance and Trump, I mean, not J.D. Vance. No, he hates J.D. Vance. We're going to find out soon how much he hates J.D. Vance. But remember, I was like, he loved Elon. I think they probably about to break up. But remember, I was like, they love each other, right? They love each other. So y'all know my other theory is the biggest villain is Melania. And we need to lean into that. We need to lean into, in order to take Trump down for real, we got to infiltrate through Melania. Okay? So the internet is in a frenzy right now because Donald Trump, fully respectfully, with no shenanigans whatsoever, attended Pope Francis's funeral with a bright blue navy blue suit on. Here's the thing. This is the best he ever looked. Actually, the suit is nice. The tie is still a very long tie, but the tie is like a nice blue. It's like blue on blue on blue. It's like a light blue or chrome blue. But everybody else at the funeral got on black. Everybody at the funeral got on some shade of black, some shade of gray, something that is muted, something that does not make you stand out more than the church, except Donald Trump. Now, here's the thing. You know who else got on all black? Black from head to toe? Melania. So she knew when they got dressed, when they was leaving the house together, when they was walking on the great lawn to get into the bulletproof truck, to go to the helicopter, the helipad, to get to Air Force One, to fly to the Vatican City. Let me turn my notifications off. She said, she looked at that suit and was like, that is too bright for today's festivities. This is too bright for our appearance today. But Melania was like, any other wife that love their husband would have been like, let me see, where you going? We going to Pope Francis' funeral, right? Yeah, no, you got to put on black. Unless they say put on something, some people in their death wishes, they ask for things like, let's wear all white because this is a celebratory occasion. Let's wear all white because we giving light, we sending them off in light. Oh, this was their favorite color. So everybody, if you can wear something a resemblance of that color, right? But if that ain't the case, if there ain't those special instructions, any wife would have saw her husband and been like, wait, where we going? We going to Pope Francis' funeral, right? And then he would have been like, yeah, good. That's where we going. And she'd have been like, baby, I put a black suit. I laid a black suit out. She probably was like, the maid laid the black suit out for you with the black tie. They laid the black suit out for you. It's on the bed. Did you not see the black suit? And then every husband goes back in and like, oh, I'm sure. And they fucking change. Melania saw Donald J. Trump. She saw him. Now listen, they might not be in the house together. But at some point before the funeral, she saw him. At some point, she actually knows him because they've been together for what? Like, Barron, that's his name, Barron. Barron, I actually like calling him Byron though. Byron, little Byron Trump, right? He like 17 or 18 or 19 or 20, right? I think he's 17, but to me, he seemed like a super senior. You know what I'm saying? He seemed like he really 19 in like the 11th grade, and so they just telling us he's 17, but really he 19 because he needed time. No shade to our special needs kids, but they don't want us to know that their kid needed more time. So they said he's 17, but really he's 22. Byron Trump, he grown. So they've been together for a while. So even if they don't live together, she could have at least FaceTime him and be like, show me what you're wearing. Show me why do you have the blue suit? He got on Air Force One and Melania was sitting there with her all black. Melania always be, regardless of what people be saying, sometimes she be making mistakes. But for the most part, she's like a fashionable woman. She's a taller woman. She's a thin woman. You know what I'm saying? Melania seemed like in another world, she was supposed to be hanging out with like Paris Hilton and them. That's what she seemed like she thought her life was going to be when she got over here. And lo and behold, she got to go to all of these political things and she done gave up on him. You know what I'm saying? This is her way. Melania's silent protest is letting him wear a blue ass suit to a funeral. He got on Air Force One and she looked him up and down like, she probably laughed a little bit under her breath. She probably laughed a little bit and then text Michelle. She don't really have Michelle Obama's number, but she got somebody in her phone saved as Michelle Obama. And Melania texts them all the time like she really having a conversation with Michelle Obama. But it's not really Michelle Obama. And she probably texts her fake Michelle like, he's wearing blue. So, if that's the all things considered, that's the one thing she got to offer, right? Is the styling, the fashion. That's the one thing she got. So the fact that she said, no, I'm gonna stay here. I know they gonna make fun of you. That's who we gotta infiltrate. That's who we gotta infiltrate. That's who we gotta infiltrate. We gotta get to Melania. Because her disdain for this man is so deep. It's so deep. Because any loving wife would be like, oh, okay, so you wearing blue. We gonna look crazy in blue. But you see how she said we? Now she gonna go put on her blue dress because you ain't about to be out here looking crazy by yourself. I'm your wife. And I'm about to say somebody, but you know what? These are my peers. These are my peers, so I ain't about to say their name because I'm finding out. I'm going to tell y'all about this later. I don't know if it's going to happen, but just know I went and I shot a pilot. And the pilot got picked up. I was heavily asked to shoot this pilot. The pilot got picked up. Now it's a show. It's a show that's about to come out. I'm giving y'all very little details because I don't want y'all to go do what y'all do. It's a show that's about to come out. And I have talked about the person who the show is coming out under harshly over the years. And so I am not surprised that the show happened and I ain't a part of the show. I ain't even mad, low key. As much as I need a job, I ain't even mad because I stand on what I said. But I was just about to give y'all a good example of a very loyal spouse that's gonna stand next to her spouse looking stupid because they a loyal spouse. Any loyal spouse is like, okay, well, we ain't supposed to wear blue. But you wearing blue? Okay. All right, well, then we wearing blue. The internet, they going to go crazy on us. The news, they going to have us all up and down the news. We don't know how to dress for the funeral. We disrespectful to the Pope, but it's going to be we. It ain't going to be you. It's going to be we, us. But not Melania. Oh, no. Did I show y'all the picture? Y'all want to see the picture? Melania said, it's you. You gonna do that by yourself. You gonna do that by your whole self. Look at this. Look. He stand out more than the Saudis. Look at that. The Saudis with the red on their head. Melania said, you on your own. Melania said, you on your own, Jack. She said, you're on your own. You are on your own. So, if we at all trying to take Trump down, we got to go through Melania. We have to go through Melania. Because she don't give a shit about him, and she's done, and she want to be done. And I know all of us is like, God, please don't let a third term be possible for this man. But more than anybody, Melania is like, how long do I gotta be his plus one? And I'm not saying she innocent. I'm not saying that she, you know what I'm saying? I know that she signed up for a charmed life. That's what she signed up for. A charmed life. And did not care about the cost of the charmed life. She probably laughing. Like, you see, she probably got home and was like, you see him with that stupid ass blue suit? You see him with that stupid ass blue suit? What if it's really Michelle and she just be leaving her on red? Okay, let me leave Melania alone. All right, let's get into Club Shay Shay. Y'all want me to take a second and look at the comments? Oh, I ain't even say give the like. Still I Rise, you said congrats on the pilot. Did you listen to the rest of the story? It's a whole series now, and your girl's not in it. Let's get into Shannon Sharpe. A lawsuit was filed. At the time, when it first was filed, it was filed with the Jane Doe, right? It was filed under Jane Doe last Sunday, I believe, in Nevada. It feels like this has been going on for more than a week. Now the woman's name is revealed. I don't know her name, but now her name, her pictures, her OnlyFans profile, like it's all out there. But a lawsuit was filed against Shannon Sharpe, alleging that Shannon Sharpe Shannon Sharpe brutally sexually assaulted her several times at the end of 2024 and 2025, following a consensual relationship that they had for, I believe, 2 years. When they first met, which was back in 2022, I believe, she was 19 years old and he was in his mid-50s. There's so many things. There's so many aspects of this, right? There's the sexual assault aspect, which we'll talk about. There is the BDSM aspect of it, right? Does anybody know exactly what BDSM stands for? If you do, can you put it in the chat? There's the dumb, stupid aspect, right? Which I feel like a lot of people was talking about it in the earlier parts of the comments. There's just like, it's like, how are we not learning? How are people not learning from the examples made publicly by everyone else? This is going to be I'm about to go left for a second, and forgive me. I think this is why faith is important, because I think what faith does is it humbles you. Because if you, let me say, in the monotheistic faith, I can't even talk about no other faith except Islam. So I'm going to just talk about Islam. There is something so humbling about being a Muslim. There's something so humbling because every part of Islamic teachings are humbling. Every part of it is your submission to God. Every part of it is humbling. So I just feel like the arrogance that exists in the world, like when this as this came about, right? Then a lot of stuff, you know, when we talk online, it comes back to haunt you, right? And so like it would be crazy if tomorrow I was at somebody's funeral wearing an all black, or all blue suit, or all blue dress when everybody else got on black, right? Then y'all would cut the clip from this live and be like, that's crazy. She must be married to a Melania too, right? But so now a lot of clips are resurfacing from Club Shay Shay interviews where it's like the writing was on the wall. You know, the first clip that was resurfacing was when he very recently, this year, he had comedian Donnell Rawlings on. Donnell Rawlings is most known for being Ashy Larry on the Chappelle Show, touring for a very long time. For as long as people have known Chappelle, for the most part, you see Donnell Rawlings as, you know, as a feature act with him. He's a very funny comedian, has a Netflix special, has a bunch of, you know, content out there. But he was on Club Shay Shay earlier this year, and Shannon Sharpe, a clip that started recirculating again with Shannon Sharpe telling him, like, you can't be with these young girls. What's wrong with you? You can't be dating nobody in their 20s. I ain't going below 30. How do you sit there? How do you sit there and tell a lie knowing damn well? Now, y'all know me. I be on here talking, and then something come up in my head, and I be like, oh, well, I can't say that because I can't, you know, because, you know what I'm saying? I might not give y'all some information that you want to know because y'all be so nosy. I be like, one of my supporters sent me a message the other day and I had to send him the emoji. He was like, what's that for? I said, yo, I'm going to start sending this to people when you're doing too much. Or I'm going to send you a picture of Cash Dog because you can't. You know, you gotta, these parasocial relationships, I appreciate all of the support, I really do, but it's like, come on, cool, you gotta just chill. And not just this person, so many messages. Did I just drool? Yes, girl, how old are you? 52. So it's like how you sit there and tell Donnell Rawlings, make fun of him for minutes, knowing good and well you was engaging in that. I ain't even get to whether it's consensual or not. Let's give you the benefit of the doubt, Shay. That it was, how you sitting there know, you lodging a big ass stone in a glass house. How? How? Another clip, this resurfacing was when Monique was on his show. And Monique was like, Shay, you need to get somebody your age. You need to get a nice, big, older woman that's your age. You need to leave these young girls alone. And he laughing. Sometimes you got to be like, that's why faith is important. Because sometimes you got to recognize when people sent to talk to you. That wasn't Monique. That wasn't Monique talking to you. That was your Lord and Savior. Trying to tell you, you got to stop this now. You got to stop this now. Are you trying to keep the club open? You got to stop this now. Now you got to stop this. So Shannon Sharpe apparently was with this 19-year-old girl, and she claims that it was a consensual relationship, but a consensual relationship that had a nature of like control and like abuse. And she described her first, she described the first time that they ever like hooked up. She said that she went to his house or went to wherever he was staying, and he didn't open the door for her, let her inside, didn't say nothing to her. She just got in the bed. And this to me sounds like sex work. This does not sound like a relationship. That's just, to me, this sounds like if this is a relationship, and this is not a judgment, but this is like, I've never engaged or even been invited into a relationship like this. First of all, I ain't never started no relationship. I'm about to say not even in high school, where the first place we going is to your house. You're not even gonna give me no. This is transactional. That's it. You know. Anywho, so she says that she goes in, she lays in the bed. He just lays in the bed and turns out the lights, and she lays next to him, and it's like for 10 minutes, and no, nothing happened for like 10 minutes. They just lay in the dark together. See, to me, that sounds like the start of a scary movie. To me. But I don't know what has gone down in this woman's life that led her to this point at 19 years old, right? I don't know who her parents are. I don't know what her circumstances are. I know that they say it somewhere. I know I could find where they met, but I forgot. I'm sure I read it, but I forgot, right? And so she's saying that they had a consensual relationship that did have like a controlling and sort of like abusive nature. Then when we had when it went kind of viral, when he heard the audio where he went live by accident and he was having sex with a person named Michelle, and it was like these sex sounds, she felt like he was cheating on her because that's when they were together, right? Shannon Sharpe and his legal team, they are saying that this was a 100% consensual relationship. This is just a money grab. That there was a dominant, submissive. Did somebody put in what BDSM means? Here, let me look it up, because sometimes I don't be looking at the comments. I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't never put BDSM into my internet. My internet was like, are you sure? Look, I gotta type it twice. My internet don't even want to search it for me. Oh, bondage, discipline, or domination, sadism, and masochism. And let's see exactly what sadism is. The tendency to derive pleasure, especially sexual gratification, from inflicting pain, suffering, or humiliation on others. And then let's see what masochism is. The tendency to derive pleasure, especially sexual gratification, from one's own pain or humiliation. Okay, so that's what BDSM is. And so Shannon Sharpe is saying that their relationship was the BDSM. It was that of a dominant person and a submissive person, right? So, okay, right? Like I said, like I teased on the podcast earlier this week, it was like, I ain't never want to judge real fast, but let me just tell you, in the recent year or so, if I hear you represented by Tony Busby, then I'm probably going to be like, let me see the evidence. You get what I'm saying? It ain't going to be empathy first. That ain't got nothing to do with her age, her ethnicity, his age, his ethnicity. The moment you say, and yeah, this happened to me, and I would like to for my attorney, Tony Busby, to speak on my behalf. The moment that happens, I'll be like, this one of them Tyler Perry Presents Law and Order episodes. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I got to stop doing. TP, are you with me? So as the information plays out, right? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna see about this. And let me just tell y'all what, I ain't got no dog in the fight. I am one of those people, I had no idea who Shannon Sharpe was until a comedian named Cat Williams did his show. I had no idea who he was. Before Cat Williams did an interview with Shannon Sharpe, my very good friend Tabitha Brown did an interview with him. And I think she told me about it. I still didn't know who that was. I'm like, Keke Palmer, sorry to this man. I don't know who this man is. I could be walking down the street and he could be walking down the street and I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man. I had no idea who Shannon Sharpe was. Didn't look him up. And my whole entire, one of my closest friends in life was like, I just sat down with Shannon Sharpe. And I was like, okay. Congratulations, right? I ain't know nothing. The first time I paid attention to Shannon Sharpe was last year, the beginning of 2024, when Cat Williams sat on his couch. And I said, who this person Cat Williams talking to? Talk about, Cat, you better stop it, you Cat, you better stop it, girl. Come on, Cat. I said, who is this person? And then everybody was like, he like a good football player, and I was like, and they was like, he a sports correspondent. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, let me see what Cat Williams talking about. I say that to say, not to say like, he is irrelevant. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that he has no cachet with me. He don't got no cachet with me, and the Jane Doe don't got no cachet with me. So I'm I'm looking at what's presented to me completely objectively. It ain't a hard thing. Like, sometimes it's hard. I believe as damning as the evidence has become, and as damning as that video with Diddy and Cassie is, I do believe there's so many people. Diddy is a part of, like, nostalgically, a part of, like, a lot of people's fondest memories. Music that is connected with people's fondest memories. R. Kelly too, songs playing at people's weddings, babies made to his songs. So as heinous as their behavior is, I imagine it was really hard for people to, even me, I ain't get, people be looking at me, I be like, I love Michael Jackson. And they be like, because he got cachet with me. Shannon Sharpe don't got no cachet with me. So there's nothing in me that's like emotionally like, wait. For me, it's just about what is the information presented. First piece of information, she represented by Tony Busby. Well, that seems like a win for you. In a court of public opinion, that seems like a win for you. And he tried it too, because he immediately put out a video talking about they trying to get me like they did Jay-Z. I know Jay-Z was like, now, brother, You lucky my name ain't trademarked. Don't say my name again. Beyonce was like, did he say your name? Say your name. He tried it. I'm sure he got a call. Respectfully, I'm going to need you to keep my name out your business. Good luck. Good luck with that. But respectfully, I'm going to need for you to keep my name, Rockefeller, anything. You keep my stuff out of your stuff. Respectfully. Then he made a video. Do I have the video? Because I didn't understand what. I think that I ain't even get into the. I ain't even get to the moral aspect of it, right? I ain't even get there yet. I'm just talking about just how you legally proceed. Why people be if you paying for a legal team and a crisis team, what happened to your Marine? What happened to, like, you got the right to remain silent? Since you want to bring Jay-Z into it, did you not learn from Diddy? He got right up on the internet, reading from a teleprompter. She is lying. I did not and will not. And then next day the video come out. Shut your ass up. That's why you have secured legal representation. You're literally paying for them to speak on your behalf. So why you out here talking? Why you out here talking? Just know, y'all, they get me in anything. I'm be like, y'all ain't about to hear from me. Y'all gonna be like, oh shit, she must be in the Venezuelan detention center. That's the only thing I'm gonna come online and say. If some scandal happened with me and y'all don't see me for a while, I'm coming online and say one thing. Hey, y'all, just wanted to pop in and let y'all know I am not in Venezuela. Thank you. I'm gonna get a bunch of messages. Z, well, they saying this about you and they saying that about you. What you ain't gonna say? Tell them. And I know this ain't true because you wouldn't do this, but you be doing this, so it might be true. And you was talking this, and oh yeah, you was throwing the play in the house. I'm gonna be looking at my lawyer like Twyla was looking at her representation at the Breakfast Club. Yeah, what if I'm paying you to speak for me? Why would I ever say anything? This here getting on my nerves. But sure enough, Shannon Sharpe came out, put a video out. Let me see if I can find this video. Reading from the teleprompter. Reading. Oh, here it is. I got it.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
You know, it's funny too to me when how people be like in the most scandalous situations and then they always end their statement where I love all y'all. I'm not saying that after my scandal. I'm not about to be like, yeah, and this happened, and you know I love all y'all. No, I'm not saying that. I'm like, and I don't fuck with y'all. I don't think that was AI. I think that was the wrong move. I mean, I don't think he said that. Like, that's something you say in court. And then you read it like you started off with like, I'm gonna speak truth from the heart. And then you did the exact opposite. And then you purposely revealed her information as much as she was listed in this lawsuit as Jane Doe. You the one that outed her, which I don't have no problem with. But yeah, what you mean you speaking truthfully and from the heart? You didn't even stop at the punctuation. You didn't even give a good line read. You didn't even make it sound sincere. Then they messed up. They messed up because Shannon Sharpe came out and said that a video might be released, and so y'all he tried to preempt it, right? Like he was like, I ain't gonna be on here talking, and then the video gonna come out tomorrow like Diddy. So he told us, he said a video they probably about to release like an edited or shortened version of the video that's gonna make it look like there's some sort of guilt on my end. Just know that that's not the case, right? Just know that is like, that's the intention, right? And we are going to fight that. And then she put out, Tony Busby, on behalf of her, put out all of these text messages, right? They put out text message and an audio. And she's like on a thing, and she clearly, like, I don't want to say clearly, but to me, it does actually sound like some people are like, oh, it sounds like she's baiting him, and like clearly she's recording him, so it's a setup. To me, it sounds like exactly what it is. Like, it sounds like a dom submissive relationship. That's exactly what it sounds like. I ain't even got into whether it's consensual or not. That's what that sounds like to me. Now, I don't know what the facts are. I wasn't there, thankfully. Ugh. Want to be in no room with Super Shannon Sharpe, no 55-year-old man and a 19-year-old girl just laying on a bed in the dark together? And then moving to Vegas? What is it? Ugh. Anyway, but that's what it sounds like to me, right? So then they also release a bunch of text messages that also make it seem like he was controlling, violent, possessive, abusive, etc. Right? And it seemed like it gives it on her side seems like it's not like this was aggressive, right? And then did he release it? Oh, then the lawyer came out and was like, we tried to get them to settle a while back for $10 million. Remember on the podcast early weeks ago, last year when I was in Vancouver, and I said, who is this Cracker Jack lawyer team? Remember when they had people speaking out on Diddy? I was like, who is this? Who? Johnny Cochran would never. Why? I'm serious. I don't know if at the beginning of, any sort of lawsuit, and we're going to get into why this immediately went civil and not criminal. We're going to get into that. I did not forget about that. But at the beginning of all of it, whether it's civil or criminal, there got to be a gag order in place. Because y'all releasing all of this stuff to everybody who don't got no say in the matter. To a public of people that ain't got no say in the matter. Why would you, as his lawyer, say, well, she won $50 million, we offered them $10 million? Hold on a second. You have to know that's not that does not, in the narrative and in the court of public opinion, you see how she had got one strike against her for hiring Tony Busby? You got a strike again. Why was y'all about to give her, if you so innocent, if this was just a consensual relationship, why was you? And then I want to know, maybe I should know who Shannon Sharpe is. You must have a lot of money. You must have a lot of money to give a liar, an alleged liar, somebody who you says is unequivocally telling a lie on you. You trying to get them $10 million? How much money you got, sir? How much much money you got? This is all going to play out. What is continue to play out is, and every day is changing, right? Every day is changing. It's like one day everybody was like, oh, they're going, ESPN going to let him go. And then ESPN was like, he's only here on Mondays and Tuesdays anyway, or whatever. Y'all know I don't know that much about Shannon Sharpe, so, or his career or his work schedule. So, like I said, if it wasn't for Cat Williams, and then, so everybody was like, no, ESPN ain't let him go. He is only there 2 days a week anyway, so y'all need to calm down. And then the very next day, it was released to the media. Shannon Sharpe is stepping away from ESPN for now. For now, is what he said. In light of this recent lawsuit. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you. I have no answers and a bunch of questions, okay? And this is not me, like, not believing the victim, because first of all, when are we going to learn as human beings? When are we going to learn to stop putting ourselves in unreasonable situations? Unreasonable situations. It can only be an unreasonable outcome if you a 55-year-old man seeking a 19-year-old girl. If you are 50, because this ain't about gender. If you are a 55-year-old man seeking a 19-year-old boy. If you are a 55-year-old woman seeking a 19-year-old boy. If you are a 55-year-old woman seeking a 19-year-old girl. If you are a 55-year-old they seeking a 19-year-old they. This is a problem. This is a problem. Shannon Sharpe has three kids. 3 kids that ain't a day younger than like 30. I had a guy ask me out who was 29 years old. This is very recent. 29 years old. I'm not 29. 29 years old. I said, what? He said, yeah, how old are you? And I said, not 29. And he was like, oh, well, are you, like, do you have a problem with it? And I was like, yeah, it was very hard for me to wrap my mind around it. But you know what was the hardest? And let me tell you what, I ain't 57. I know I'll be saying I'm 52 and 57 and all of that. No, I'm much closer to 29 than I am to, whatever. So, I mean, I ain't really that close to 29, but, closer than whatever. The thing that I couldn't get past is he remind me of my little 17-year-old nephew. That's the part that was hard for me. I wouldn't have cared if he was 45 years old. Every time I looked at him, I'm like, dang, he looked just like my 17-year-old nephew. Can't do it. This ain't right. This ain't right. So you gotta know, the proof is in the pudding. We're seeing this play out over and over and over again. You talking about Tony Busby, this is what he does. He targets black men. He don't target black men that can't be targeted. It's a lot of black men that ain't got no papers on them. Ain't nobody out here talking about Ryan Coogler did something to me. Only thing Ryan Coogler did was create a good movie. So Tony Busby may be all wrong, but he going after people who got wrong shit in their background too. Oh, he targets black men. No, he don't target black men. He target black men who, for some reason, feel like they could do shit they not supposed to be doing. Not even legally. Morally, your grown big ass ain't supposed to be doing what you supposed to be doing. Now, I ain't saying you got to be married. I ain't saying you got to be with a woman. I ain't saying none of that. But what I know is you dead wrong. You're dead wrong. Being out here, being 55 years old, having any sort of relations with a 19-year-old that ain't protecting her and saying, I got a nice little young boy I want to hook you up with. That's the only interaction you should be having with a 19-year-old. I never understand and this is always hard to say because there's so many reasons why people don't pursue things legally. And it's harder. The burden of proof is much harder legally than civilly. And just, trying to be conscious and sympathetic to the victims in the world of SA that for whatever reason could not go and pursue legal, charges against their abusers. I try to be sympathetic to that. But if this is just, if the alleged abuse just happened in the past 12 months, why is this not illegal? Why is this not a criminal case? I mean, it's good it's not a criminal case for Shannon Sharpe. It's very good for him because if it's just, I'm be honest with you, if I got millions of dollars, I'd rather give somebody millions of dollars than go to jail. That's why I know Diddy much rather be at home with 2 nickels than be on Rikers Island or wherever he is in that jail in Brooklyn. I know he much rather. Especially if you ever made a whole bunch of money, you believe, I can make this money again. But don't nobody want to be in jail. Don't nobody want to be locked up. So I'm sure he's very happy that it ain't no criminal case. But for the life of me, I don't understand. That's the first, with every case I be looking like, oh, dang. Okay, when was this? 1996. Okay, what state are we in? The statute of limitation. What's that? How can this be? You know what I'm saying? Why is this not being pursued criminally? And even when I say, why is this not being pursued criminally, I don't even mean that means you stop pursuing it civilly. I'm just saying, if we got rapists out here, we got to put them away. If we have violent people out here, violent people that are hiding in plain sight and in the shadows being violent, then we got to get them up out of here. I also be wondering where the figures be coming from. You know what I'm saying? What's making the girl and Tony Busby, what's making them dead set on the 50 million? So do y'all watch Mason Cameron's podcast? I saw a clip. I don't think I've ever seen a full episode, but I do see a lot of their clips. I saw a clip where Mace was talking about it. And Mace and Cameron, if you don't know, they're rappers that Mace used to be on Bad Boy. Cameron is a part of Dipset. Who was he signed to? Maybe Def Jam or something like that? I don't know. Or Rough Rider, I don't know. But they are rappers from maybe the late 90s and 2000s. Yeah, because Biggie was and Tupac was in the 90s, right? Anywho, and now they have a podcast. And it's a sports podcast, so it makes sense that they talk all things sports related, right? They talk things about, but most of the conversation, even if they talk in scandal and stuff like that, it's in the sports world, right? And so I saw a clip where Mace was he had said something, and he was like, because everybody was like, well, if you asking for 50 and they giving you 10, like, why not take the 10 million? And May said, he said, it made me laugh so hard, but it made so much sense to me. He was like, well, they probably, you know, she probably can't take the 10 million because the pimp got to get his cut too. Yes, Dwayne Young, that's what it's called. It Is What It Is podcast. But when he said the pimp got to get his cut too, because I be trying to understand where, like, how do they, like, I just want to know how the figures are calculated. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not the judge or the jury. You know, like, I'm not like, well, this is not like, because it started consensual at first and blah, 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 blah. And just, so you shouldn't get this. So I'm in no position to, you know, opinionate on that. But I do in every case, even with Cassie, I wonder, what was the 30 million? Like, what, do you just come up with a number? Do you calculate like your bills in life and be like, okay, for me to live a good life after this, I'm gonna need like, how do they get the numbers? You know, like, how does that happen? You know? Sorry, I'm looking at a message. And it's probably like the former like math student in me that's like, what's the formula? You know what I'm saying? Is it like dollars times the salt times the years equals, you know, the figure with the added interest? What's the interest? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to like make the math. I'm just trying to understand, like, where do we get the figures from? Whether I think they viable or not. How do we get, what made you not ask for 100 million? If you could get 50, why is it not worth 100 million? Or do you just look at what the person is worth and then say, okay, we're going to take a percentage of what they say his net worth is? Let's see, what's Shannon Sharpe net worth? How much does Shannon Sharpe make a year? He makes 10 million a year. So his net worth, according to Google, is 30 million. According to Forbes, when Shannon Sharpe left, when he left whatever show he did, he used to do a show with Skip Bayless, right? Skip Baylor, I don't know. I just remember that being a thing. I don't even know who that is. I think that's an old white man, but I'm not sure. But I know when he left that show, he had a reported net worth of, oh, it said 5.4 billion according to Forbes. Really? Okay, these numbers, I don't know what to believe because every single article I click on, they got a different number. Now, this article is talking about he's worth 14 million. 14 million and 5 billion is so different. That's why I be just trying to understand, like, according to talksport.com, he earned 22.3 million. I know this is why this is so hard for me to believe, because sometimes I Google myself and I look at what the internet says and I be like, where did they get this from? So that's why it's very hard for me to believe what's on the internet. If it's not like a reputable journalist source. You get what I'm saying? Like, I believe that if it's printed like in like the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, or, you know, I believe that they've done enough journalists, they have enough integrity. Their journalists have enough integrity where they're going to post the closest thing to the truth. But according to this, it says that he earned $22.3 million during his NFL career, his entire career. And that he was on the verge, he is on the verge to signing a $100 million media deal. But signing, on the verge, and having ain't the same thing. It's like they release so much stuff to the internet, but never the stuff you want to know, right? It's like, Tony Busby, tell us how you got the figure. Shannon Sharpe, your lawyer, tell us why you offered 10. Tell us why you thought 10 was suitable. I hear a lot of men, especially, it's mostly men. I have not heard a woman have this take. Technically, I mean, if she's 19, it's legal. Technically, it's legal. That's the thing that be concerning me about human beings. I ever tell y'all that story where I was on a plane and it was one of them planes. I feel like I told this story before. It was one of them planes where you board from like the middle. It's either American or United. They do this a lot. You board from the middle. And so because of it, but the middle, where you board from, that's all of like the, you know, kind of like the highest part of economy. So like whatever they call it, comfort plus, economy plus, whatever, right? That's the section. So you have either business or first class, then you have this economy, like, you know, plus section, and then you have your economy section, right? And so what happens when they board from the middle, there's that big exit door now. And so that takes away a lot of the overhead space, right? And this guy, so everybody's seated, right? I'm in like this economy plus whatever, bro. My bag is already up there, right? Everybody is seated. This guy gets on last. This tall white guy gets on last. Big, tall white guy, right? Looks like, I think I told this before because I tried to describe him like he looked like he was part of like a bike gang or something, right? And he opened up the overhead space and he don't see no space for his bag. So he started taking somebody else's bag. He didn't ask. He just took somebody else's bag that he felt like, well, my seat is right here. So this is supposed to be my whatever. And the guy whose bag it was another white man, but a smaller white man. And he was like, hey, that's my bag. You can't take it. And the bigger white man, he was like, he ignored him and was like, I'm in this row. I'm supposed to have a bag up here, but you know, and then it became this like standoff. I told this story before when the little white man was like, I want to speak to the pilot. And it's like, sir, the pilot is not coming out for this. I don't know what y'all be thinking, but the worst thing is both of y'all gonna have to get off the plane. But what's not about to happen is the pilot ain't about to leave the cockpit and come back here and be like, now tell me what happened. What his job is to fly the plane, okay, and tell you hello and goodbye when we take off and when we land. Stop it. Anyway. But I watched the whole thing. You know, I ain't say nothing because my mama told me better than that. I ain't say nothing. But I knew, my thought as I watched the scenario happen was, if our plane landed on an island, if we was lost on the island, we'd have to get rid of him first because he's a bully. And if he's a bully and he's got big size, and if there is no law in place to control him, if there is no consequence to make him not behave badly, he's going to behave badly. We see it all the time. So when people be like, I mean, technically it's legal, I be like, so y'all would just be out here. Y'all would just be out here doing the most immoral things if there wasn't law and order? So you mean to tell me that if ain't nobody there to stop you from doing, and there's no consequences, you just gonna do what you want regardless of every other human being on this earth? That's a problem. Me and my family was in town last week, right? And we went to the beach to ride bikes one of the days. And this guy, this guy, he had like one of them, I don't know, like bike carts or something like that. And he had a little kid, like it looked to be like his daughter, you know, she was maybe about like 5 years old and strapped in the seat, but he got caught in the sand and he couldn't get out the sand. And so we was about to ride by, and now listen, I'm on a bike by myself. My sister is on a bike with my nephew, who's a toddler, and my brother-in-law is also on a bike with my other nephew, who is like a baby, right? And we stopped and pulled over. We watched this man try to get his bike cart out of the sand, and it's people just walking by. Not looking at him, not asking him if it's okay. Do you get what I'm saying? Not asking, like, not asking if he needs help. And then I stopped and was like, do you want some help? And he just looked up like, yeah, you need help. And then my sister and my brother-in-law, also with small children, stopped their bikes, parked their bike, all willing to help. And then another guy, like a security officer or something like that, he came and did like the real heavy lifting and helped the man get the stuff out the sand. And my sister was like, good thing we rode by. I was like, but you don't think it's crazy that there's so many people out here and nobody offered to help that man? She was like, yeah, that is crazy. I'm like when you think about it, who cares that that's a man? He got a child. Ain't nobody see if they okay. So when I hear people be like, well, technically, I mean, it's legal. And these be the same guy, and I'm gonna go after this. I gotta go. These be the same men that be like, the law ain't on our side. I don't mess with the law because they always trying to take us down. But then in an instant like this, you trying to protect somebody, a 55-year-old person that ain't had no business doing none of the stuff that he was doing, consensual or not, with a 19-year-old. And now you wanna use the law to service your excuse of like bad behavior. I don't care if he having consensual BDSM intercourse with hundreds of women, having safe sex. I don't care about that. But sir, you can't be 55 and them 19. You can't. And then I try to let this go, and I'm gonna get out of here. I try to let this go, right? Because I always think about that Martin episode where I can't even remember the whole episode, but I just remember Martin is about to make a mistake. Like, I don't know, maybe he ain't proposed to Gina, maybe he did something wrong to Gina, something. And when the old man leaves Martin's apartment, he turns around and he says to Martin, old fools used to be young fools. Old fools used to be young fools. I am always like, you too old for it. Because in my mind, when I say you too old for this, in my mind, life has given you enough experiences. Life has given you enough lessons for you to be able to see this a mile away. Mr. Sharpe, life has given you enough experience by way of your own life, by way of your peers. It has given you enough experience. Thank you again, Simply Shawnee. You didn't have to, but I really, really appreciate you. That's so kind of you to be giving me money. I'm going to see Sinners again tonight. So, girl, you paying for my popcorn. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But it's like you've been on this earth enough. You've seen enough to be like, nah, I ain't going to do this. And let me tell you, if I do it, I ain't going to do it like this. It's like it's hard even to have And again, I don't know Shannon Sharpe, and I'm not even here saying he got to go. I'm not even wishing bad on him. You know what I'm saying? I will let the information and the facts in this situation play out, and I will be a spectator like the rest of us. But I don't got no dog in the fight. But it's very hard to like sympathize with you because you grown as fuck at your big age. But I have to remember, this is a story I tell often. This woman who has never seemingly liked me. And we, it came to a head I'll never forget, we was at a fight party at Eddie Murphy house. And she was friends with my friend. And they sat us together and I said, and at the time, I'm 27, maybe. I said, I'm not comfortable sitting next to you. I said something like, I'm not comfortable sitting next to you. Or I don't want to sit next to you because you don't what's the, well, we don't have to pretend. Like, I know you don't like me. I don't know why, but let's not pretend. I ain't about to sit here. I'm supposed to be I'm at Eddie Murphy house. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Eddie Murphy. I got to go to a fight party at Eddie Murphy house. I'm not about to sit here and not enjoy myself sitting next to you. And I'll never forget what she said to me. She said, I don't like you. I'm damn near 40 years old. And in my mind, I thought, what that got to do with it? And the Martin episode came in my mind again. Old fools used to be young fools. Clearly, you ain't learned. Clearly, you 40 years old, and it's taking me, a 27-year-old. It's taking me, a 27-year-old, to point out why we about to sit here and pretend. It's taking me, who has less experience on this earth, seemingly, to speak up and address something that we both feeling and thinking. But you want to pretend in the name of you being too grown for the dumb shit. You even more dumb. Shannon, Mr. Sharpe, you even more dumb because you sat on that show. It was like, come on now, Donnell. Come on now, Donnell. Come on now, Donnell. You can't go lower than 30 now, Donnell. You come on now, Donnell. Now, if you was going to release anything, the first thing you should have released is I had no idea that she was 19 years old. If you was going to release anything, you shouldn't be like, I thought I was dealing with a 35-year-old woman. Y'all saw when I said, Donnell, you can't be dealing with no young girls. You got to deal with a Come on now, if I'm 50, I got to go. I can't go lower than 30. That girl told me she was 35 years old. So now I'm out here bamboozled, and Tony Busby is targeting black men. That's how you go into that. That's how you go into it. I'll be wondering, because this is so far from my life, like this sort of scandal is, thankfully, is so far from my experiences in life. I just wonder what he's thinking. Sometimes I do shit and I know like, I wasn't supposed to be there. So the fact that this situation didn't service me, like, dang, I told myself I wasn't about to call him no more. And so now I'm over here, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm over here arguing with, you know what I'm saying? Because I know I would sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm able to reflect, like, I wonder what he's thinking. Is he, because that's the thing that concerns me. Like, are you just in your house? Like, how they doing this to me? I'm completely innocent in this situation. I'm the good guy. I'm innocent, and I tried to give her $10 million. Or is he like, God, bring me out of this, okay? And when I come out of this, I'ma really have to pivot in a meaningful way in my life. I was on FaceTime with my nephew today, who is only 17 years old. 17 years old, my nephew. I was on FaceTime with him, and I saw a tattoo. I said, what? is that? Not that he can't get a tattoo, but at 17? Who let you do that? And like, I don't know, like, are these men doing this like in complete secret? Because, and not, forgive me, I don't want to be one of them women that sort of blames the woman. You know, like, that's why I ain't even talking about the girl, because it's like, you don't even got to talk to her. The fact that Mr. Sharpe fell for the fact that he was somehow able to be under the spell and find himself in this predicament with a 22-year-old, a now 22-year-old, started with a 19-year-old. I don't even think her brain is fully developed yet. And so if you completely innocent, if it was all consensual, I'd be mad if some teenager was out here shaking me down. I'd be so mad if some little 19-year-old boy was out here talking about, yup, you about to run me your money, ma'am. Young man, I saw you coming from a mile away. So I'm going to need you to go back to community college where you came from. I'm going to need you to enroll back into your remedial science and maths and get a life, because we're not playing over here. But I do wonder, like, because his kids is grown, he seems like a man who has a lot of women in his life. He seems like a lot of his true love and support comes from like women, like mom, grandma, auntie. I don't know his life, but he just seemed like that was his upbringing. He seemed like his upbringing is more so from women than men, to me. My brothers, I can't stop my brothers and I can't stop my male friends from what they're doing. I can't stop them, you know, but I definitely speak up and protest. When they say anything that they think is cool or funny or fun or cavalier or like, when they do any of that, and I'm like, no, all I hear is you in a bad predicament with a woman. No. Nah, sorry. Nothing funny here. They be mad. I be ruining the party. What happened? No, what? Oh, I don't even know why she like you. What happened? That's crazy. I'm surprised she like you. I say that to the men that I love the most. Oh, that's crazy. She must, yeah. Who is it? Let me see this girl. I got to send her a message, because why do she like you? If that's why you saying you treating her, oh, no. But also, would you want somebody to treat your daughters like that? Would you want somebody to treat me like that? I gotta go, y'all. Well, it must have been some bad people in the comments. All right. I got to go. But thank you. And I'm not, let me just say this. We're human beings. None of us are perfect. You know, we're all flawed and we're all learning. But we're also I had these little kids come to my door. I don't know, a week or 2 weeks ago, I had these little kids come to my door asking me a bunch of questions. I ain't opened the door for them. You want to know why? As much as they was little kids, 3 little kids on bikes. As much as they look like they was only like, I don't know, anywhere from like 10 to 13 years old. That's what they look like. I ain't opened my door. I talk to them through the door, but I ain't opened my door. You want to know why? I be seeing too many TikToks. Every person is warning me not to open my door. This is a scam. This is a scam. This is a scam. So that's the good thing about social media. Sometimes it make you privy to stuff happening in the world that hasn't presented itself in your life yet. But when it does present itself in your life, you're like, oh shoot, I remember I saw this TikTok and they said, don't. I ain't give them no truthful answers to their questions. I wanted to say why you want to know, why you in my business, but I didn't, just in case their hearts were pure. So I just gave them lies. But it's like, it's so many things out here. If I was a black man, period, if I was a man, I don't even want to make this black man, but you can't ignore that there is, because people like, well, so-and-so is with this younger person and so-and-so is with that. Yeah, but apparently, according to Shannon Sharpe, Tony Busby ain't after them. If you know that there's a black man, if you know that there's a black man slayer, ain't you gonna do everything in your power to not be slayed by the black man slayer? If this was a movie, if this was a Marvel movie and a villain was Tony Busby, the black male celebrity slayer, watch out, fellas. You get success, he gonna send a woman to take all your millions. Wouldn't you do everything in your power for that not to happen? And I'm going to be very honest with you guys. This is not even like, I am not of the opinion where like, oh, she 19 and this is why. No, that's insult to injury. The fact that this situation, which we will find out, I'm sure momentarily, who is the villain and who is the victim. It ain't just that she 19, because I don't want this to happen to no 40. People be like, oh, she 19 and she white. Well. It's like, hold on a second. I don't want this to happen to a 40 or 50 or 60-year-old black woman. I don't want this to happen to a 40 or 50-year-old Spanish. I don't want this to happen to no woman if there is a violation here, if there is assault here. I don't want that to happen to nobody. But I tell you what, if I was a black man, that was a public figure today, this is celebrity, and I got a young girl on my roster, they like putting me on video, they like taping my conversations. If I got a white girl on a roster, talk about 25,000 per ass cheek. If I was in a video running around New York City from a white woman, if I got any person in my life that is reminiscent of the people that done took taking these past couple of guys down, I'm making calls. What Nino Brown said in New Jack City, I'm bringing cases on all y'all. I'm sending text to everybody. Hey, I don't know you no more. I think the case will have less credibility. Who asked that? Calix Young, and then I'm going to go. I just had a mental thought based on the available info. If the girl was in her 30s or 40s, will the case still have credibility? Yeah, because the case would have credibility, but it would have less, it would be less inflammatory in the court of public opinion, because what's being argued legally is not SA by age. That's just the court of public. People are like, wait a second, and it's just insult in the story. You know what I'm saying? It's just that. It's just that. So I think that's what's moving it. I think that's what's moving it along. Just like they made sure to let us know that she 22 today, but they made sure to say she 19, to give you all the things that make us go, wait, what? That's not by accident. But again, it's also not a lie. It's also not a lie. You was actually 50 something years old and she was 19. That right there If there is a 55-year-old man in the world sitting next to a 19-year-old girl or boy or whoever, I don't care, and they not your relative, I would be like, what happened to Shannon Sharpe? Oh, I'm so sorry. I cannot even know you. I'm going to get up out of here. And I only got a good 52,000 to lose. But I'm going to get up out of here. It's like I never ignore, like, the possibility of a shakedown, the inequality, all of those things I know exist, but we got to stop putting ourselves in. We got to stop making it so easy. This seemed too easy, Mr. Sharpe. Yeah, Dwayne, it's about money. That's fine. It's about money. That's also bad. He just had to step away from his job. He just had to step away from his job. They offer, you saying it's just about money. They offer her 10 million. She said no. That means that they believe that there's something damning enough where it's like, oh, no. We could definitely get more than 10 million. And the optics going to look so bad for him that he's going to have to step away from his job. So it's like to focus on, like, it's just about the money. No, this is about him putting himself in the predicament for it to be about money. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. Oh, yeah, she's trying to get money? Yeah. But let's talk about how you positioned yourself for someone to sully your entire name. Everybody be like, oh, they messing up. No, you messing up your legacy because you put yourself in the position. Monique told you, go get you. You out here playing. You out here putting yourself in positions that only have unreasonable outcomes. It's time for you to change, brother. It's time for you to change your choices. Dialect K, Black Queens forever, Snow Bunnies never. But here's the thing: there's Black women out here. There's young Black women and older Black women that happen. Let me finish my sentence. That are being abused. It doesn't. Yeah. Are there similarities? Are we seeing the same sort of characters in these sort of, soap operas? Yeah. But if we're just talking about an alleged assault, yeah, there's Black women being assaulted all the time. And worse, the public not feeling like their story is valid at all. Y'all, Cassie ain't even a Black woman. Cassie like a Spanish girl or something like that. And the way the public tore her apart when she first announced her lawsuit against Diddy, the way the public, she just doing this because she light skinned. Well, she know what she got herself in. The way the public tore her apart. And then that video dropped. Then him jumping up in the air, talk about, I do get. Then hitting her with a Mortal Kombat kick. Thank you so much for tuning in to this weekend live. I really, really appreciate y'all. If I am coming to a city near you, make sure you get those tickets, okay? You can go to my website, zainabjohnson.com, ZAINAB Johnson.com to get those tickets. Next weekend, I will be in Arlington, Texas. That is the Dallas area. I'll be at the Arlington Improv May 2nd through the 4th. And I have a lot of dates after that. I think the next date is May 30th, which is Atlanta, Georgia. I'll be at the City Winery in Atlanta. And then it's kind of like nonstop from there, okay? So if you want to see me perform live in person, you want to see some stand-up, then get those tickets, okay? I really appreciate it. Have a reasonable rest of your Sundays. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to my moderators, Still I Rise and Tay. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday and stay reasonable, okay?